What's good, guys? I missed my first day. Yesterday was a kind of hectic day, but we're back at it today. Um, entry number three. Thank you guys so much for coming back and watching me again. Yeah, last video didn't do as great as the first video, but I'm not gonna keep them on keeping comparing them to each other because that still goes back to what I'm about to talk to about you guys today, or with you guys today. Today's is I don't know if I gotta read it or not. Not the best camera. But today is comparison is a thief of joy. Um, I gotta shout out my friend, my good friend from high school, Santi Ramirez. He wrestles now at Lander University. About to transfer somewhere, but he can't be too loud about that. I remember in high school he would always tell me comparison is a thief of joy, and I understood it, you know what I mean, for hindsight for what he told me, but I didn't understand it to the level that I think he was trying to tell me. And when people talk about sharpening iron, that's the guy I think of for me. And him telling me that was way deeper than don't just compare yourself because it's bad for you or because it's hurting you. Literally, how I say that is how it comes, guys. Comparison is a thief of joy. The second you start comparing your life to other people, or you start comparing your achievements or the things that you have, the tangible things, is the moment that those things lose their value. Um, I'm a victim of this every day. I do it every day. Um, I see a lot of things in the people that I love that I wish I had, and I'm not saying that. I think that there's a difference between comparing your stuff and being jealous. I think I lean more on the side of comparing myself because I understand that everything that comes takes time. Everything good takes time, and the things that I usually am comparing myself over just takes more time or takes me to change something to do to get it. So yeah, I'm gonna go into my points a little bit. You know what I mean? I got five for you guys, little points, and I'll talk more about it as I go through it. The first one is comparison steals your focus. You stop building when you start watching. What that one means to me is like, can you guys imagine trying to build a house? Like you have a plan, you have a outline of what you want to do, and there's somebody building a house right next to you, which is gonna become your neighbor. Let me plug y'all in. That's gonna become you guys neighbors. You guys understand how hard it would be to build your own home when all you're doing is watching what your neighbor's doing. Every time you put your roof, you're like, dang, he put his roof 3 days ago. When it's time to put the doors on, you just, damn, he put the doors on 5 days ago. All you're doing is holding yourself back from building your house. And if you would have just been able to lock in and watch what you were building and watch what you were working on, you would have been able to get through the house either at the same time or even maybe faster than the neighbor. Um, I feel like we don't we don't notice how much looking at the next person is hurting ourselves because in our eyes we're just viewing the competition or not even the competition but just our peers, and there is no competition. It is always us versus us, and I feel like we get lost from that. We forget that, but that's gonna lead me back to my next point. My next point is you don't see full picture. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlights. Nobody shows the bad anymore, or really ever really. Nobody really shows what it took to get there, or the hard nights. You know what I mean? People will show you the mansion, but not show you the 15 apartments it took to get there, the three shared homes, the moldy roof, all those things that took them to get there. Just because nobody wants to be portrayed as the bad. Nobody wants their bad to be portrayed as them. And just like we do that for ourselves, we have to remember that other people are doing that. I feel like we get so lost in the Sonder effect of the world and like that everybody's focused on themselves. So, but we're not noticing that everybody's focused on themselves. Everybody is, in a way, it is like it's kind of soothing that everybody the same thing we worry about the next person looking at us for, they're worrying about that. So it's like if we all just you know what I mean understand that everybody's story is different, everybody's timing is different, you know what I mean, we're able to be in harmony and understand that all like nobody you can't compare your lowest moments to somebody's highest. Obviously they're going to be higher, and that I feel like that's the root of comparison because for me I do it a bunch with basketball, I do it a bunch with my parents, You know what I mean? Looking at other families and being like, damn, I wish my family was like that. Or seeing people who I think I'm capable of getting the same offers, if not better. Seeing them get offers I don't have and being like, dang, I know I could get that offer. I know I can, you know what I mean? And there's a right and wrong way to do that. There's a dang, I wish that was my family. I can't wait for me to be in that spot to, you know what I mean, make that right. Or dang, he getting them offers. What is he doing? I'm not. But that to get there, so it takes so much time because you have to understand that every time you compare yourself, you're 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 contradicting yourself at the same time. If your goal is to get somewhere and you're comparing yourself to someone who got there faster or better or anything, then what makes that your goal? It makes that a group goal. It makes that you chasing something that is not important. Um, my next point, I'm just gonna keep going back and back and back, and then I'm gonna talk until you know what I mean I feel like my point has been across. Um, it kills your confidence. Doubt grows when you measure yourself against others. So if if we're waking up every day and we're going to work and we're making whatever we're making let's say $4,000 a month, we're making that every week, every month, whatever that's 1,000 a week. We doing that, and we look at the guy who's our manager who makes 8,000 a month, right? We can't compare ourselves to our manager because our manager has 10 years more experience on us. Our manager has endless more hours at night doing paperwork. Our manager has all kind of things that they have to get through to get there. And most times when we compare ourselves to other people, the only thing that's in the middle of ourselves in the comparison is time. It literally is just time. When I compare myself to man, this guy just got a new house. I'm only 18. Obviously, I'm not gonna have a house right now. It's hard to think of in that aspect, but we do have to look at the bigger picture. That time is the all healer. Like the things you compare yourself when you compare yourself to other people, those people did not go through what you went through. We have to be confident in ourselves. We have to understand that we are special. Everybody's special. I hate how the world is making you feel like if you don't have money, if you don't have the perfect family, grew up perfectly, then you're not special. Everybody's special. We don't have to be famous to be special. You don't have to be rich to be special. You don't have to be the most beautiful person in the world because you are you, and that is the most special you'll ever get. So we got to stop comparing ourselves to other people who are special in their own ways. Because if we do that, then we take all of our we take everything we're special for away. If I keep comparing my hair on how my hair looks to the next guy, and I make my hair look like his because I want to look like him, that takes my beauty away. Although it might not look beauty in my eyes, it takes my beauty away. And yeah, so that's what I want to say about confidence. I deal with a bunch of that, so I feel like I'm pretty. You know what I mean? I have a good feel for that one especially. But my next one's gonna be your pain is your own. What's meant for you won't look like anybody's else. I feel like when we're going through certain things, it's so hard to understand that this is building me for something. This is building me for something. I've went through a bunch of hardships. In December, my home burned down, and I was I wouldn't call it homeless. I was living with my cousin, but I didn't have a house for 3 months, 2 months, and like that's a big hardship. And although I was comparing myself in the moment, I had to understand that if without that I wouldn't be here where I am right now. I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't have the relationships I've built over that hardship. I wouldn't have gotten back closer to God. I haven't, you know what I mean? All that stuff. The comparison that I was doing in the moment of my hardship is nobody else can relate to specifically how that happened. Nobody can relate to waking up in the fire. Nobody can relate. Yeah, people can relate to certain things. You know what I mean? People, all kind of people, houses that burn down, all kind of people that have to live with their family. You know what I mean? But the specifics of days in and days out, nobody will ever be able to relate that to me. Like nobody, because I'm the only one who lived it. Same way that every hardship, you're the only one that lived it, like percentage by percentage. So we can't keep comparing ourselves, and we don't, and it's different pain. Your pain is yours. Like whatever you go through is yours. Whatever that person went through is theirs. We can't keep comparing our final life. You know what I mean? It would be different if we woke up one day and you and this person woke up on the same day, okay? For every single day, you guys did the same thing. You guys ate at the same time, brushed your teeth at the same time, did all these things at the same time, and that would prove that that would be able to prove to you guys that. Sorry, I'm getting a call from my little sister. That would be able to prove You guys can compare yourself because now everything is on an even playing field. If this guy's doing better at school and you guys study at the same time, do everything at the same time, this is a little bit equal. But you still shouldn't really compare yourself because everybody has different brains and all that. But in this example, everybody has the same everything. Now it's easy to compare yourself because this guy's doing better with all the same things. But I cannot compare myself to my classmate who's had tutors since 3 years old and does 1,000 hours of studying every year, and I don't. You can't compare yourself because that's not an even playing field. If that's what I'm getting, if you guys understand what I'm getting at. Um, this is probably my worst talking video, but I got one more for you guys, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit at the end. This last one is gratitude protects your joy. When you have when you have matters, what you have matters more than what you lack. All right, guys. I feel like we've lost the sense of gratitude for the things that are already here. It's so easy to have gratitude when you get a new car because you just got something new. You just added something to your life. So easy to get it when you have a new house because you just added something. When you get that purse you've been wanting, you added something. When you get that, you know what I mean, that new cologne you want, you added something. But it's so beneficial to remember what we already had before we add stuff. Every day we wake up, that is a blessing. We just woke up. Like, we didn't have to wake up today. Every day that you're able to put those same clothes you had months and for years and whatever, that is still a big accomplishment, and we need to start, you know what I mean, not comparing ourselves for the things we don't have, and understanding the things we have. For so that, like, that fire I was talking to you guys about, that really showed me, like, all the things I was comparing myself for, like, I, it was nothing about houses. I would never be like, man, that guy has a better apartment. That guy's da 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 da. And when I lost the apartment, that's all I was wanting. That's all, you know what I mean. I wasn't comparing myself to the basketball, to the nice clothes, to the things. I was worried about something that I didn't appreciate in the moment. And because I was so busy comparing myself, I wasn't able to appreciate that stuff. When I was a kid, I wasn't able to appreciate having a big family in the house because I was so worried about comparing myself to the person with the nice Jordans. You know what I mean? And when things are lost in your life, and especially things that you always have around, it really shows how important things that we don't thank God for, we don't thank ourselves for doing every day, anything like that. And I feel like I just had to say that, like, the things you guys have already are more than enough. If it wasn't enough, we wouldn't be here. If if you weren't enough, we wouldn't be here anymore. If the things that you're given already weren't enough, you wouldn't be here. If you couldn't make work with the money you're making, if you couldn't make work with the house you're in, the car you drive, the way you transfer anything, then it would just simply not be there. And I feel like we do a great job of making what we have work, but not thanking ourselves for doing it. So many people who get up rich and who come up and who do these things, they talk about how hard it was to do it with the things that they had, how hard it was, but they never say it was impossible. And I feel like we gotta just keep remembering that we have to keep gratitude in the things that we have and not keep comparing ourselves with the things that we don't. That is the most important message. I feel like I left the best for last. We have to keep fighting for ourselves, guys. We got to keep fighting, and we got to keep understanding that we are true fans, and we are our only haters. We are our only true fan, and we are our only haters. Obviously, there's other people who can want good for us and love for us and all these things. But if you're not your own fan, you would never ever do anything in, like, ever. Like, if you're not the one who constantly telling yourself, I gotta do this for me, or something else, if I gotta do this for my little sister, if I gotta do this for somebody, you have to tell yourself that you have to do it. And the second that you tell yourself you can't do it, you cannot do it anymore. We like we're taught that people are gonna come through and hate on us and to not listen to them, but most people don't tell us to not listen to our bad thoughts. Most people don't tell us that we're gonna have self doubt and we're gonna compare ourselves to the next person and all these things, and to not listen to that part too. This book, I didn't even mean to do this, but this book, The Inner Game of Tennis, I recommend this book highly to everybody, not just athletes, not just tennis players, not any of that, because it breaks it down from self one to self two. Self one is our conscious and self two is our mind. If you just let your conscience do what it does and don't let your mind question it, most things work out. And I know some things won't, but those are what you learn from. And I'm not gonna make this video 20 minutes, so I'm gonna you know what I mean, get to wrapping it up. But I just want to thank you guys so much for giving me another day to talk my mind. And I know this video is probably all over the place. I'm not the greatest at talking, but I'm just happy that you guys are able to find my videos and find true joy from it. If you guys finding joy from it, find whatever y'all want from it. If you guys don't like it, I'm glad that you guys pressed on the video and got to make your own opinion. I'm just happy that you guys are giving me a place to talk. And yeah, every day we're gonna get a little bit easier. Every day is gonna be a little bit better, guys. I'm so excited to, you know what I mean, stack these days up and understand what this path has for me. Basically, yeah, that's really it. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the last two videos. Thank you guys for watching this one. I'm about to be out of here. CSM Chives, we out. Day 3. Deuces.